Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of August 6, Tuesday. I'm Riza Diaz. Jump-starting today's rush with several areas in Luzon declaring class suspensions today due to the bad weather. Classes in all levels are suspended in the following towns in Laguna: Fami, Kalayaan, Lumban, Mabitak, Pagsanhan, Pakil, Pangil, San Pedro, Siniloan, Santa Cruz, Santa Maria, and Santa Rosa. Same goes for the following municipalities in Rizal: Angono, Baras, Cardona, Cainta, Morong, Pililla, Tanay, and Taytay. Now, likewise, some local government units in Occidental Mindoro have also declared no classes in all levels today. These are Lubang, Magsaysay, including its government offices, Mamburao, Paluan, Rizal, Sablayan, and San Jose. Now, the towns of Looc, Magdiwang, Romblon, San Agustin, San Andres, and Santa Fe in Romblon also have no classes today. There will also be no classes in all levels in the entire province of Cavite as well as in Taguig City. Meanwhile, Pasig City, Alcantara, and Kahidyokan, Romblon, and Lian, Batangas declared no classes in preschool to high school. And just minutes before broadcast, the town of Bacong in Negros Oriental also suspended classes today from preschool to high school. Survivors of the tragic sea mishap at the Iloilo-Guimaras Strait recall what happened on Saturday as authorities continue their search efforts. Jen Calimon has the story.
Maria Nieves Grandeza is grieving over the death of her husband, 3-year-old son, and 7 other relatives. Maria is the lone survivor from MV Jenny Vince that capsized last Saturday due to strong winds and currents. They were supposed to go to Iloilo from Guimaras, but their boat got caught in the tragic accident.
Sumangoy ako. Sumunod ako sa liwanag. Hindi ko yun kakayanin. Hindi ko kakayanin. Nakasakit po.
When MV Chichi and MV Quezaya 2 capsized as it was heading to Guimaras, more families arrived in the hospitals hoping to see their loved ones.
Masakit sa dibdib ko. Ang kabuhi ta, isa lang mo. Wala na. Buhay na, wala na.
Ubod ng bait.
The Philippine Coast Guard is looking at a squall as the possible cause of the accident.
It's like a pugada, whirlwind created or formed, sudden strong gush of wind formed at sea. Pag-asa cannot predict, we can predict, no? Even in the US, at least in the US, the bigger ones, the hurricanes are meron na silang technology. But for the smaller ones, the Subasco, I think Pag-asa would be more in the position to answer.
According to Iloilo City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, the number of casualties rose to 28. Some of them were tourists. 52 passengers survived the tragic accident, while 6 passengers remain missing. All crew members of the 3 boats were able to survive the incident. The Philippine Coast Guard headquarters in Manila is now conducting an investigation to determine the real cause of the incident and, if possible, held anyone liable. PCG Region 6 admits that they allowed small boats to sail because no gale warning was in effect last Saturday. There are also some cases which are not part of their existing protocol.
The weather condition then during departures, the departure were clear. No, it's not prohibited under the protocol, but based nga dun sa mga initial, but it's subject of the investigation. As for a protocol, it's a gray area on that protocol, like the airplane. No?
Even the boat operators are subject for investigation because some deceased and missing passengers were not in the manifesto. Because of the incident, the operations of pump boats in Iloilo-Guimaras Strait remain suspended. Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, we are One News.
Amid the inclement weather in the past week, you'd have to wonder what prompted the vessels to still set sail. Authorities are still investigating the tragedy, but it seems there was a miscommunication between government agencies. The Philippine Coast Guard says there were warnings signaled to them that to alert sea crafts of rough sea condition. But Pag-asa says it issued gale warning alerts 2 times on Saturday, one at 11 in the morning and another at 5 p.m. 2 of the 3 boats capsized at around noon, while the other one sank at around late afternoon on the same day. Both the Coast Guard and Pag-asa have said that the boats sailed in good weather condition for the most part of their trip before encountering a squall or sudden strong gusts of wind at sea.
Doon sa issue ng lumubog na barko na bangka o boat sa Western Visayas. So, dahil ba ito ng squall? So, hindi po. Dahil nung araw na yung Sabado ay malakas pong hangin dahil sa habagat at nag-issue po tayo ng gale warning ng 11 o'clock na umaga at ang next na issuance ng gale warning ay noong 5 o'clock ng hapon.
Now, just moments before our live broadcast, we received the reports that parts of southern Luzon are experiencing heavy rain. Now, to get us the latest on the weather, we have with us on the line Pag-asa weather forecaster Benny Estareja. Benny, good morning.
Good morning, Riza, and to all our viewers.
Benny, do we have rainfall warnings this morning?
So far, over Metro Manila and nearby areas, we don't have any rainfall warnings. And over southern Luzon, over here in Mimaropa as well as Western Visayas, there is a heavy rainfall warning issued as early as this morning. I'm not sure about the exact places or exact provinces. But within 24 hours, Mimaropa, Aklan, and Antique will experience monsoon rains.
Benny, do we have a location on Hana and perhaps the track that Hana is heading to?
Yes, as of 3 in the morning, Tropical Storm Hana was located at 815 kilometers east of Calayan, Cagayan, and it has maximum sustained winds of 85 kilometers per hour and gustiness of 105 kilometers per hour. For the last 6 hours, Hana was almost stationary, and we're expecting Hana to further slow down in the coming hours, and that is why it may remain inside our area of responsibility until Friday.
Benny, while it is still in par, is it intensifying to become a severe tropical storm, or are we looking for it to become a typhoon?
Yes, within the next 24 hours or up until today, we're seeing that Hana may intensify further into a severe tropical storm, and then after that, it may intensify further into a typhoon within the next 48 hours, while inside the PAR.
Is the habagat also being felt?
Yes, habagat will continue while Hana is still inside our area of responsibility, and the most affected areas are the western sections of Luzon and Visayas, including here in Metro Manila. We might expect another surge of southwest monsoon by tomorrow and Thursday.
Benny, do we have gale warnings?
Yes, we still have gale warning over those areas that had a gale warning yesterday. Over here, over the seaboards of Pangasinan, Zambales, and Bataan, the seaboards of the whole of southern Luzon, the seaboards of the whole of Visayas, and the eastern seaboard of Mindanao. So the wave height could reach up to 4.5 meters, and small sea vessels will not be allowed to venture out into the sea.
Other than Hana, do we have other weather disturbances?
Yes, we do have a tropical depression behind Hana, and its location is 2,445 kilometers east of northern Luzon, and it has a slim chance of entering our area of responsibility, but it could be also a factor for an intensifying habagat. And apart from that, we also have a low pressure area somewhere in the West Philippine Sea over the Philippine boundary, around 465 kilometers west of northern Luzon, which for now has a low chance of becoming a tropical depression.
So, Benny, these weather disturbances are affecting the habagat.
Yes, it's influencing these 3 weather systems or weather disturbances are influencing the habagat, and the West Philippine Sea, the LPA over the West Philippine Sea is somehow diverting the southwesterly winds over the western section of northern and central Luzon. That's why we are currently spared from the moderate to heavy rains, and instead, the monsoon rains are being experienced over Mimaropa and Western Visayas.
Benny, you mentioned earlier that Hana is slowing down. When do we expect it to exit Philippine Area of Responsibility?
So Hana is expected to exit the PAR by around August 9 or Friday, so it will remain inside for the next 3 days.
Okay, we expect rainy weather then for the next coming days. Thank you.
Yes.
That was Pag-asa weather forecaster Benny Estareja. Now here are some of the day's biggest stories. President Duterte expressed concern over threats of a possible attack from the terrorist group ISIS. The president says he is even praying to spare the country from any assault. ISIS has since claimed responsibility for several bombing attacks in Mindanao. Back in April, Duterte says the terrorist group will never gain a foothold in the Philippines under his term. But now, for Duterte, it seems there is a cause for more concern.
Meron po akong ISIS. And ito yung nagbibigay sa akin ng kaba talaga. I am not a person easily swayed by itong mga dito, but yung potok, you are not, you are a spectators of the international scene. Nakikita naman yun, nababasa ninyo, CNN, if you go to YouTube, wherever you are, makita ninyo ngayon.
Corruption remains to be another issue in Duterte's administration. In his speech during the oath-taking of newly appointed government officials in Malacanang last night, the president explained why he lifted the suspension of Lotto operations and why he didn't do the same for the rest of the PCSO's game.
STL, peryahan ng bayan, puro nakaw. Ang i-remit nila, may loss yung kinukuna na nila. So I had to stop it. I thought I could. But, you know, corruption has permitted government itself. Sinabi ko, it's corrupt to the core, and it is right now.
New appointees to welcome August. President Duterte reinstalled William Dar as Agriculture Secretary, replacing Manny Piñol, who has been reassigned to lead the Mindanao Development Authority. Dar previously served as Agriculture Chief under the term of former President Joseph Estrada. The President also named former Davao City Administrator Wendell Abisado acting Secretary of the Budget of the Department of Budget. Now he replaces Janet Abuel, who assumed the spot following the transfer of Ben Jokno to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. And here are the biggest stories from the dailies. The Labor Department is planning to issue a deployment ban on Hong Kong amid the series of protests in the East Asian territory. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello told Filipino Star Ngayon that they have released a safety advisory to all OFWs in Hong Kong while they are still studying the proposition. This comes after a Filipino was arrested for wearing a black t-shirt during one of the protests in the city-state last Saturday. Philippine Star reports that the Comelec First Division has rejected the nomination of Ronald Cardema as substitute for the Duterte Youth Party list. Voting 2-0, the poll body ruled in favor of the petition seeking to disqualify Cardema over ineligibility as a youth representative. The Comelec said the 34-year-old Cardema is well aware that he is overage to represent the youth sector, that the law requires candidates of the youth groups to be not more than 30 years old. And this from the Freeman. Cebu is celebrating its 450th founding anniversary today. The local government planned a series of month-long activities, which includes the grand opening today, to be led by the Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte as the guest of honor. But the month-long celebration already started last August 1st with the medical mission for Cebuanos. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.